They are not bombs. They contain no explosives. But the amount of energy that they're carrying in their kinetic energy, because they are so heavy and they're going so fast, it is as big as any conventional bomb ever detonated.
Tonight we're looking at some US military secret weapons. Welcome back, family. Thank you to all the channel members for support. This one's gonna be a very interesting video, so if you haven't already, remember to like, subscribe, because we're about to hit 100K, and hype the video up so it gets pushed to more people. Let's go.
You guys seem to like these ones, so I'm back with more weird gadgets and weapons throughout history. This is the people sniffer from the Vietnam War. This was just basically a giant ammonia detector, and ammonia is very present in human sweat, so they would just scan the brush for sweaty people. It didn't work all that well, but it detected campfires really well, so they kept it for that purpose. Yeah, here's a sniffer on a helicopter. The enemy learned how to counter this, by the way. They would just piss into buckets and leave buckets of urine around everywhere. It's kind of gross. Up next, we got a homing beacon deployed by the U.S. Air Force, but you're not going to guess what's next. The Vietnamese kept destroying the United States sensors on the trails, so they had to disguise them. And what do you think they disguised it as? Now you got poop sensors. Ain't nobody want to squish a poop sensor. Nobody. The flechette started in World War I, but still saw use in Vietnam. Here's a flechette bomb that just explodes midair and rains down darts upon everybody. When dropped from B-52s, they didn't need an explosive charge to accelerate them because the plane was so high up. So these things fell silently. You didn't hear them coming. You would be asleep, and then you wake up, and everyone around you is Swiss cheese. They're in agony. Just metal darts falling from the sky silently. This one was just good thinking. They decided to put grenades in jars, and they would pull the pin, but the spoon couldn't open up to activate the fuse yet. And they would just fly over areas in helicopters and dump crates of grenades and jars over the enemy, and the glass would shatter, activating the grenade. Pretty smart.
How scary is the U.S. military, really? One time, the U.S. Navy got upset and destroyed half of Iran's naval fleet. During the Iran-Iraq conflict, Iran decided to cut Iraq's income source, oil exports. The plan was simple: turn Iraq's boats into submarines. It worked well, but by doing so, Iran committed a cardinal sin, raising gas prices for the West. The collective West went, "What the duck?" And you guessed what happened next. America started the largest naval operation in the last 100 years and went on to protect the tankers. Iran, with a high IQ move, decided to double down, and they put mines all over the waters there. USS Samuel struck one of them. The USA decided to issue a proportional response, but apparently the US Navy did not hear the proportional part. Shortly after that, 2 of Iran's oil rigs became new coral reefs. Iran had 2 modern battleships. Both were gone. Best of all, it was only an 8-hour operation, a standard workday, so there was no time for anyone to stop it. Iran then sued the USA, saying that their response was not proportional, but the USA said they'd better pray to never see their non-proportional response. Please follow, and please do not mess with U.S. ships.
Thing that brought down the UFO, the famous UFO from 1947 in New Mexico, right? The Roswell incident. That was a scalar beam that came from the United States military, most likely engineered or reverse engineered from Nikola Tesla's documents. They discovered that scalar weapon wasn't really used as a weapon at first. It was a radar system. They discovered that it disoriented these craft and brought them down. In some weird way, it disoriented their ships. I believe that's how we began to figure out how to bring these things down, capture them, and reverse engineer them. I think the government has a lot of technology that they've been holding back from the general population for several reasons. One reason is for national security. And
Dude, I remember hearing this article that the US government or the US military has 20 years in advanced technology than we do. That means they're like 20 years in the future technology-wise compared to us.
The US military now has wall hacking technology called ENVGB, which stands for Enhanced Night Vision Goggle Binoculars. Using white phosphor tubing and thermal overlay, the system clearly outlines people, distinguishing them from the background.
Now, wall hacking technology is actually crazy.
3 classified military weapons that are being developed by the USA. Number 3, Project Thor, a network of orbiting satellites armed with tungsten rods. Project Thor leverages the force of gravity to deliver devastating kinetic energy to ground targets at hypersonic speeds. By utilizing the Earth's gravitational pull, this system provides an unparalleled precision strike capability, minimizing collateral damage compared to traditional explosive warheads. Number 2, Railgun Electromagnetic Launcher. The railgun is a revolutionary electromagnetic weapon capable of firing projectiles at speeds exceeding Mach 7. By harnessing electromagnetic forces instead of chemical propellants, it achieves unparalleled range and accuracy. This technology provides a cost-effective and efficient alternative to traditional missile systems. Before revealing the number one, remember to subscribe and like the video. Number 1. Special Purpose Individual Weapon. Spy-W represents a leap forward in infantry small arms, integrating advanced features like caseless ammunition and a multiple barrel design. This compact and versatile weapon system improves soldiers' firepower and maneuverability on the battlefield. Do you think these weapons are the next step for the U.S. military? Let me know in the comments.
Do you have any idea how many nuclear weapons we have? How many?
On ready for launch status, meaning they're forward deployed, meaning they can be launched in seconds or minutes from the president's order. Seconds or minutes. We have 1,770. The numbers change a little bit every year. Russia has 1,674. That says nothing about the thousands more in storage that we have ready to, could be pulled out. So we have approximately 5,000 each. Why do we need that many nuclear weapons? You must be asking yourself.
We need that many because they have that many, and they need that many because we have that many.
Guess what the number was at the all-time high, which was in 1986?
10,000.
70,000.
70,000? Wow.
How America sort of had this insane buildup of nuclear weapons during the 1950s. There was one point in 1957, and the military-industrial complex just went ba-ba-ba-boom.
So this is straight out of DARPA. If you know, you know. It's known as Mobile Force Protection, designed to counter enemy drones. It does that by launching, matching the drone's speed, and firing that pink cloud-looking substance at the enemy drone, which gets caught in its rotors, forcing it to crash.
100,000 miles per hour.
They are not bombs. They contain no explosives. But the amount of energy that they're carrying in their kinetic energy, because they are so heavy and they're going so fast, it is as big as any conventional bomb ever detonated. In the late 1950s, the United States had a problem. The Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, into orbit around the Earth, but less well known is that just over a month earlier, they successfully tested the first intercontinental ballistic missile. Facing this threat, a researcher at Boeing named Jerry Purnell came up with an idea for a space weapon. His concept was to put telephone pole-sized pieces of tungsten in orbit, so that these pieces of tungsten could drop on a target basically at any time. They are not bombs. They contain no explosives. But the amount of energy that they're carrying in their kinetic energy, because they are so heavy and they're going so fast, it is as big as any conventional bomb ever detonated. Colloquially, the weapon is known as rods from God. Could this weapon ever become a reality? Well, that's why we're here in the middle of the desert. We want to see how damaging a rod from God could be. Oh my! What is that gonna hit? That was way more off than I thought. It didn't look like you guys were moving, but...
Yeah, he's telling me our horizontal velocity was 0.
And you were in the right spot.
We were exactly in the right spot.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Totally buried. Falling from 500 meters, the rod accelerated for 10 seconds. And even accounting for air resistance, it hit the ground going about 350 kilometers per hour. At that speed, with a mass of 100 kilograms, it was carrying nearly 500,000 joules of kinetic energy. If you look at the craters on the moon and you look really closely, you're gonna see that they're basically all circles. I think no one stops to ask, why are they circular? If you imagine when the moon gets hit by asteroids, they're gonna come in from all different directions. So shouldn't you get these sort of oblong shapes where the asteroid comes in? Well, the truth is, the asteroids come in with such incredible speed that it's not like they're pushing dirt out of the way and that's what creates the crater. No, they're coming in so fast that when they collide, their kinetic energy is explosive. It heats up the ground turns things into liquid and gas. They all get super hot and they spray outwards in a giant explosion. And this explosion is symmetric. It doesn't matter which angle or how shallow the asteroid was coming in, it's gonna blow out everything radially because it is explosive. Kinetic energy is explosive, and I think for me that's just the really surprising thing. It would be the exact same thing with dropping these rods going Mach 10 when they hit a target. They're gonna create an explosion as though they are the largest conventional weapon ever launched. And because it's going so fast, it can penetrate around 30 meters of soil, enough to bust bunkers or silos. And the explosion is therefore more localized, so it can be used for precise surgical strikes. Plus, unlike a nuclear weapon, there's no radioactive fallout to worry about, or international laws.
They named it Rods from God. Wow, that's crazy. I could literally see the US using something like that.
The F-35C will find the bad guys, and the F-18 is the bomb truck. That's the missile truck,
That's
right?
just so terrifying. Like, you could be chasing an American aircraft and be like, ha-ha, and then a telephone pole comes out of the stratosphere and sends you back to your God. Like, that's just the most terrifying shit. And
I
then
would hate to fight America. Like,
hey, I got a guy up here. We need. Okay.
Look how fast that jet's going. What the fuck?
Well, I can tell you, I have no idea what went through someone's mind when they decided to fight us.
I could tell you.
Well, 556. To start, there was we had this one guy, he was Jam, and the kid worked in the Iraqi police station, and he was kind of assigned to us as like a little helper boy. Like, we'd give him a couple of bucks and he'd go get Aish or whatever, bread and Cokes and stuff like that. And one time I saw that he was taking down like our bumper numbers on our vehicles, and Mahdi, he was Jam, Mahdi Army, right? And I was like, dude, I'm the kind of Madabik. I was like, Omar, are you gonna kill us today? La 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 la, Siddiqui, bukara, tomorrow I kill you.
Would you like to meet a bear?
So this has got to be one of the weirdest times to be alive, because I don't think there's ever been a time where people could just like literally see tons of videos of people fleeing for their lives only to end up in a situation where they likely didn't make it. Anyway, so there are thousands and thousands of these drones being manufactured on a daily basis, and they're being used all the time and more frequently for various different tasks. Some of them are being used to burn out tree lines with thermite. Some of them are being used to, deliver one-way, impact self-detonation. Some of them are being used to drop munitions from high up down into trench lines or onto armored vehicles. I mean, the uses, I've even seen these things be used to fly directly into other very expensive UAVs, like commercial grade UAVs. So it is weird times that we're living in.
If battleships were such an iconic part of naval warfare, then why does almost no navy use them anymore? Well, battleships only really made sense when naval warfare was much more basic before World War II. Airplanes and advanced anti-ship missiles weren't a thing yet. It was simply ship-to-ship fighting, so you might as well make your ship big and beefy with heavy armor to win. But armor stopped mattering as much once guided anti-ship missiles became so powerful that they could take out a battleship regardless of its armor. That's why today, the naval ships we do have, like destroyers, frigates, and cruisers, have very little armor, but are faster, smaller, and cheaper than battleships are. And they rely on much more sophisticated ways of defending themselves, like advanced radar systems to detect incoming guided missiles, surface-to-air missiles that can intercept those incoming missiles, jammers to electronically mess with the guidance system the enemy missiles use, and decoys that can mimic the electronic signatures of your ship and divert the enemy's guided missiles to the decoy. Not only that, but once aircraft became a thing, they could simply destroy battleships far too easily. The bigger, heavier, and slower the ship was, the easier it was for airplanes to target and bomb them. And on the other hand, it was much harder for a battleship to target a small and fast airplane, putting it at a massive disadvantage. This is why, after the United States learned all of this firsthand in World War II, the US Navy deactivated almost all its battleships and put them in its reserve fleet as early as 1947. And in 1991, removed all battleships from service completely. But all of this raises one big question: how are tanks still a thing? I mean, aren't they also big and slow where they can just be destroyed by guided anti-tank Javelin missiles? Well, one big difference is that tanks can be protected by infantry in combined arms warfare, where your infantry can cover your tank's weaknesses and take out the enemy anti-tank team before the enemy anti-tank team takes out your tank. And obviously there are no infantry in the ocean, so battleships don't have this support. So to oversimplify it, big armored battleships were great when they were just fighting other ships. They stopped being really great once missiles and aircraft became a thing, and being big and slow made things worse for them. And they don't have any of the infantry or ground protections that tanks have because they're out in the wide open ocean. So that's why they aren't viable anymore.
Fucking asshole. Do you realize what you've done? Taking a leak in the woods can get you killed. This is how we see it through thermals. Here we did a test of taking a leak. We did 3 examples. First one is just straight doing it on a tree. It's very visible. The next one is taking a leak deeper in the woods. It's less visible. And the last one is when you dig a little hole. After you cover it up, it's not visible at all. With the thermal drone, they're very easily distinguishable. When you're doing a flyover or you're looking for something, this bright spot really sticks out, and it's detectable up to 20 minutes later. In conclusion, taking a leak on a tree is the worst solution. Maybe just take that extra 5 seconds, make a small hole, take the leak and cover it up, and you're pretty safe after that.
Thermal vision is actually crazy. It's almost like you could see just like through walls in a way, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they'll have trees and people think they're covered under all these trees. Whole time the drone can see you bright as hell.
The 3 most powerful military uniforms in the world. The last one every army fears. Number 3, U.S. military's Talos. The tactical assault light operator suit amplifies a soldier's strength by 50%, allowing them to carry up to 200 kilograms with ease, run 30% faster, and jump 40% higher. Crafted from a lightweight titanium alloy, Talos provides ballistic artillery protection and includes a HUD that displays real-time battlefield data. Its advanced cooling system ensures optimal temperature regulation during missions lasting up to 72 hours. Number 2, French military's jetpack armor. This armor gives soldiers vertical takeoff and speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour, and can ensure a 3-hour flight without refueling, drastically reducing deployment times across varied terrains. The suit is embedded with graphene-infused fibers, making it 10 times more resistant to ballistic impacts while maintaining ultra-lightweight flexibility. Number 1, Russian Ratnik 3.0. The latest Ratnik 3.0 combat system boosts a soldier's load-carrying capacity by 70%, enabling the transport of up to 250 kilograms of equipment effortlessly. It features adaptive multispectral camouflage that changes patterns in milliseconds to match any environment, reducing detection chances by 95%. Integrated with a modular weapon platform, Ratnik 3.0 can support railguns firing projectiles at 2,500 miles per second.
Dude, that suit where that guy was literally flying away, that reminded me of Iron Man, dude. The military is getting advanced out here. That's crazy.
During the Vietnam War, a Vietnamese soldier buried himself underground with explosives, camouflaged by his comrades. He waited 5 days. When U.S. troops approached, he detonated the bomb, taking the enemy with him. Beyond suicide bombers, U.S. troops faced countless jungle traps. The most feared were bamboo, spikes sharpened, smeared with feces, and hidden beneath the undergrowth. A single misstep could drive them deep into a foot or even thighs, bringing agony and deadly infection. Some traps were even more devious, spikes hidden beneath fragile wooden boards. Step on one, and the board snapped, launching the spikes straight into the leg. No warning, no escape. One of the most absurd moments on the battlefield was when U.S. troops requested mortar shells using the code Muscle and Rice. But the rear misunderstood the code and actually airdropped boxed chicken meals. Furious, the soldiers cursed their support until they saw Viet Cong troops scrambling to grab the food. Moments later, the real mortar shells landed, inflicting heavy casualties.
A soldier attaches a fake crocodile's eye and paints the skin to look alive. He hides near a river filled with real crocodiles, waiting as the enemy passes by. The American soldier slips inside with an M3 grease gun. Days later, Vietnamese soldiers arrive by raft. Suddenly, one crocodile moves, gunfire erupts, an ambush, no one escapes. An American soldier attaches another grenade to a sticky grenade, then adds several more around it, turning it into a deadly improvised superweapon. He pulls the safety pin and locks eyes on an enemy tank before hurling the bundle straight at its its armor. The result is a massive explosion, enough to wipe a tank off the battlefield. A Vietnamese soldier placed fake mines around his shed. He painted them to look real, to scare the enemy. That night, footsteps echoed nearby. An American soldier saw them and laughed. He stepped forward, but he triggered a real trap. 2 logs crashed into him, just like a cartoon. The fake mines, just a clever trap. He held the bank manager at gunpoint and made him open the main vault. The door opened. He ran in smiling at the cash. But then, a hidden scanner activated. It scanned his body in 1 second, and boom, the floor dropped out from under him. He fell straight into a trap below. You see, this vault had a rule no entry unless you're wearing the special wristwatch, and he wasn't.
The United States is testing a weapon right now that, if it's successful, it destroys all of China's ambitions for drone supremacy. It is called the Leonidas Directed Energy System, made by a defense contractor, Epirus. This thing fires microwaves from this apparatus, which can take down hundreds if not thousands of drones at a time if it was ever swarmed. This thing is mobile, it's scalable, and it's software adaptable, so it can change whatever it has to on the battlefield. If all of the tests are successful for the Leonidas, then the United States doesn't have to worry about spending, $20,000 to $40,000, or even up to, millions of dollars to fire missiles to take down drone swarms. Right now, Russia, China, and Iran can spend, $1,000, maybe less, to make some kind of cheap drone that is an actual tactical threat. So aside from the actual damage that is done by these drones, how much more expensive does it get to take them out with, again, $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million weaponry? The budget is not on the favor of the West or anyone fighting against these cheap drones. But it costs $66 million to create 4 Leonidas units, as you could see in this article, which means one of these units costs $16 million. They can take out thousands of drones at a time. Who knows how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of drones that can be taken out by one Leonidas unit in its lifetime. So if this weapon is successful, China, Iran, and Russia no longer have the advantage of cheap scale. Even though these drones can be produced by Russia, China, and Iran very cheaply, these countries still have to obtain the steel, whatever metal, whatever plastics, whatever copper, and of course, the electrical components to actually power and then navigate these devices. Leonidas stands to turn all of that into useless junk. Just in case you're wondering, this device doesn't just fire in one direction, it actually can go 360 degrees. It can also be powered by AI, so it can automatically detect and attack drones and drone swarms completely on its own. Technically, the tests were successful, and they've been awarded another $43.5 million contract to make Leonidas Generation 2 high-power microwave systems, but they have not been fully implemented across the entire armed forces. In fact, the CEO of Epirus said that their prototypes were put through the ringer and they emerged from sophisticated testing with favorable outcomes. In fact, last year they were actually deployed and used in operations in the Middle East and the Indo-Pacific, and the Army says it went very well. And it looks like the second generation that was talked about earlier can produce more than 30% of the power that the first generation could, and it has larger range. But even this operational deployment is a level of testing, but it is looking pretty good. And if all of its operational deployments are successful and the US military starts mass producing these bad boys, what on earth are China, Russia, and Iran going to do? Well, Iran, they're just picking up the pieces of what was done to them a few weeks ago. But Russia, China, they're completely done. Anyway, I thought this was pretty cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Somewhere in rural Tennessee, pilots call it the Echo Zone. There's a triangle-shaped road surrounded by dense forest. No signs, no label, just a single vehicle sitting completely still. At first glance, it looks like a random intersection. Locals report strange sounds at night, like jet engines deep underground. Others swear they've seen aircraft disappear into the hillside. Satellite images show reinforced entrances. Disguised as natural terrain, experts say this could be a Cold War era underground airstrip. Still active, still watching. There's no official record of this place. No one's allowed near it, but one thing's clear. This isn't just an abandoned road. This is a hidden base, one built to never be found. They call it Area Echo.
There are certain rules to tunnel warfare. Don't turn on the light unless you're really, really, really sure you're alone. Use your senses. Do your first killing as quietly as you can. That means don't shoot. I chased somebody into a tunnel. met them at a bend in the corner in the dark. I thought I was alone, and then I smelled their breath. And we had a wrestling match in the dark, and I got the upper hand and crushed this person's trachea, held him down while he died, and then got out. I beat and strangled someone to death in a tunnel, in the dark. But that wasn't the only casualty. The other casualty was the civilized version of me.
Top 10 most powerful weapons of the United States. Number 7, Zumwalt-class destroyer. The Zumwalt class is the U.S. Navy's next-generation stealth destroyer, measuring 183 meters in length with a full load displacement of 14,000 tons. Its stealth design reduces radar detectability by over 90%. Equipped with an electromagnetic railgun and next-generation missile systems, it showcases advanced naval warfare technology. Number 6, F-22 Raptor fighter jet. The F-22 is the world's first fifth-generation fighter, featuring stealth, super cruise, and beyond visual range combat capabilities. Its twin advanced engines allow it to cruise at Mach 1.8 without afterburners and execute high-angle maneuvers like vertical 90-degree climbs, making it a pinnacle of aerial combat. Number 5, Ford-class aircraft carrier. The Ford class is the world's largest and most advanced aircraft carrier, measuring 337 meters in length with a full load displacement of 110,000 tons. Can accommodate 75 5th-generation stealth fighter jet, which can launch via electromagnetic catapults or vertical takeoff. Powered by nuclear propulsion for unlimited range, the U.S. plans to build 10 by 2058 as the Navy's new core fleet.
This 22-year-old boy from China has been designing dangerous weapons like fighter planes, helicopters, and warships for the past 5 years, and not for fun, but directly for the military. His weapons are so perfectly built that even high-ranking Chinese officials are left speechless. He has already created several advanced machines, but people were truly shocked when he built a satellite that could even work underwater.
I feel like, yeah, the US has a lot of crazy technology, but I feel like China might have some crazy technology.
The top 3 toughest weapons ever made by the U.S. military. Weapons built to survive World War III. Number 3, A-10 Thunderbolt II, the Warthog. This isn't just a plane, it's a flying war machine. The A-10 was literally built around the GAU-8 Avenger cannon, a 7-barrel monster longer than a pickup truck. It fires 3,900 armor-piercing rounds per minute, each one capable of ripping straight through enemy vehicles. It turns tanks into scrap metal from above. And even when it's hit, missiles, flak, you name it, the Warthog can still limp home with 1 engine, shredded wings, and 0 hydraulics. The BRRT is the last thing enemies hear before they disappear. Number 2, M1 Abrams, main battle tank. This is not just a tank, it's a moving fortress. Weighing over 68 tons, the M1 Abrams is powered by a 500 horsepower turbine engine, the same kind used in jets. It can reach speeds of 45 miles per hour on road, punch through enemy lines, and survive RPGs, IEDs, landmines, and even direct hits. Its 120 mm smoothbore cannon is deadly accurate. It can hit and destroy targets over 2 miles away. Since its introduction in the 1980s, not a single Abrams has been destroyed in head-to-head tank combat. It's not just a symbol of power, it's battlefield dominance on treads. Number 1, B-52 Stratofortress. The B-52 isn't just old, it's immortal. This long-range bomber entered service in 1955 and is still one of America's deadliest tools of war. It can carry up to 70,000 pounds of weapons, including nuclear bombs, cruise missiles, and precision-guided munitions. With a range of 8,800 miles without refueling, it can strike anywhere on the planet in a single mission. The Air Force plans to keep the B-52 flying until at least 2050, meaning it will have served nearly 100 years. No aircraft in history has done more for longer. It's the definition of unstoppable.
It's not fast. Its top speed is just 0.95 Mach. But here's the thing. It doesn't need to be fast, because you'll never see it coming. This is the B-2 Spirit bomber, the only true stealth bomber in the world. Its wingspan stretches 172 feet, almost half the length of a football field. Maximum takeoff weight, over 370,000 pounds. It can fly 7,000 miles non-stop, and with just 1 refuel, it can reach 11,200 miles. It can literally cross half the planet. But what makes it terrifying is its stealth. Its radar signature is only 3.5 square feet. On radar, it looks like a small bird. It uses 4 turbofan engines, each pushing 19,000 pounds of thrust. But the air intakes are on the back. The exhaust is hidden inside the body, designed to cut heat and sound. Fuel burn? Insane. It burns about 4,200 gallons per hour. One mission? Just the fuel can cost $2.7 million. Its weapons? Completely hidden. It can carry up to 40,000 pounds. From cruise missiles to heavy bombs to cluster weapons. This is the Air Force's most expensive Ghost. It can fly right past you, and you'd never know it was there.
A weapon that can send a voice into your head without a sound. It's real, it's patented. Voice-to-Skull, or V2K, is a real concept from military and tech patents. The goal: deliver audio signals directly into a target's brain using microwaves or directed sound. Patents filed in the early 2000s describe audible speech with no external source, silent sound spread spectrum, the ability to implant ideas via voice-based suggestions. Some whistleblowers say V2K has been used in psychological operations. Others claim it's tested on civilians, often dismissed as delusions. But the tech exists, and that's not a theory. This is File 030, Voice-to-Skull technology. Visit theclassifiedfiles.com. Follow classified intel to stay inside the signal.
Dude, if that is a real thing, we as the public, we're toasted, dude. They could literally implant thoughts into your brain with technology. That's crazy.
How quickly do you take out everyone in this room? From my position now, 7 seconds. I'm gonna flip the table, I'm gonna run that way so you can't get out of the door, and I'm gonna comb you all back over here. Yeah. I'm gonna just funnel everybody into one corner and, yeah. No, I wouldn't do that.
This is the world's largest military aircraft, the C-5 Super Galaxy. It is 247 feet long. That's 2.5 blue whales. The wingspan is 222 feet. This massive unit requires 18 wheels, which you can only kind of see because the aircraft is actually lowered because of the hydraulics, and it's lowered so that when the nose is open, it's easier to get things inside. This is absolutely massive. This is the cargo space of a C-5 Super Galaxy. They would fit so much stuff in here, from satellites, tanks, like Black Hawk. And you can tell they had a lot of cargo because on the floor, we have all these D-rings for ratchet straps. And then on the wall, we have here these massive clamps for ratchet straps. And for the really, really big stuff, they have chains. 25,000 pounds of capacity for these chains. So that's some heavy equipment. Now I want to show you something really cool. We got to run. We got a lot of space. We're going up here. And this is the flight deck. Up here is where the pilots and team fly this aircraft. It takes a team to fly this. Here you have all of your electrical panels, fuel generators, and over here you'll have our pilot seats. We have our co-pilot and pilot here. Let me just get a little bit comfortable. There we go. We have brakes here, and this is how we move the plane. Each of these screens have been modernized. Now, let's check out the back. Check this out. We're gonna lift the nose of the plane. Go outside. Here we have one emergency escape exit. We keep going. We got one dorm. Keep going. We got another place, and that is where the pilots and crew sleep when they are switching off. Their dinner is here, conventional oven, and the refrigerator down here, so that your snacks can stay nice and cool. Here they would have 73 troops, an entire battalion being delivered and flown to Vietnam to fight. I can't even begin to fathom what it would feel like to be a troop in here. This is the flight deck of the C-5 Galaxy cargo plane.
This plane will never enter enemy territory, but it can destroy an entire air force without firing a shot. Let me explain. This is the Boeing E-3 Sentry, one of the most deadly planes in the U.S. Air Force. It doesn't carry missiles because it doesn't need them. Instead, its main weapon is this massive spinning radar on top. This radar can scan everything within 250 miles from enemy fighter jets to bombers. Once scanned, the data is instantly sent to friendly aircraft, missile batteries, and command centers, giving them real-time information before the enemy even knows they've been spotted. From 30,000 feet, the E-3 acts like a floating control tower. And the most craziest part? The US has around 31 E-3s in its Air Force inventory, which means they can control the airspace of an entire continent.
Did you know the pilot who led the strike over Iran was never named? They called him Ghost 1, June 2025. Aboard a B-2 bomber, no lights, no signal, just coordinates. He took off in silence, flying straight into enemy skies. Over the radio,
Ghost 1, confirm altitude. Altitude 41,000 stable. Visual on targets. Affirmative. 3 bunkers, armed and hot.
he had one final message from base.
Execute. Authorization level red.
No debate, no hesitation.
Copy that.
He whispered,
For my kids.
and pressed the release. In less than 15 seconds, the earth below shattered. Cameras captured the flashes. 3 nuclear facilities gone. Tehran went dark, sirens screamed, people ran. Ghost 1 was already gone. He didn't ask for praise. He didn't start the war. But that night, he might have stopped the world from ending or set it on fire. Now intelligence says Iran is regrouping, and Ghost 1, he's still flying, waiting for the next call. It seems like it's just around the corner, knocking at the door.
Yeah, man, them B-2 stealth bombers, dude. That's one of the US's most deadly stealth bombers right now, because Iran had no idea that was even there. Just out of nowhere, boom! Nuclear facility gone. I know they're mad about that. I'm surprised they haven't really retaliated yet, because I literally try to go to NYC as least as possible this summer because of that strike, and nothing happened. So hopefully it stays that way.
Thank you all for watching this here video.